Hello beautiful people, it's just so super to see you guys again, but that's because today's a super day since The Man of Steel hits theaters. There's been a lot of anticipation for this movie and now it's finally here. I want to go see it, but I need movie buddies. I haven't even seen Iron Man 3 yet. I'm totally failing as a geek. But to celebrate The Man of Steel coming out, I wanted to share something very special with you, and there's a story behind it. My daddy was born in June of 1938, which is also the cover date of Action Comics #1. And since comic books didn't go into past issue bins and weren't the things they are today, he told me that comic magazines just hung around the stands until they were all bought up. Superman was the first superhero and perhaps even the first comic book that my old man got into. He did indeed own Action Comics #1. In fact, he owned several copies over the years because kids used to just roll them up and shove them in the back pocket or trade them. And in my dad's case, he told me he used to cut out the panels and the speech bubbles and the characters from the comic books and glue them onto other paper to make his own comics. But anything that survived those things ended up in boxes and ultimately were ruined when my grandma's basement flooded, or when she gave those childish things, as she called them, away to the neighborhood kids one day when my dad was at school. Needless to say, he wasn't happy. My dad was the one who introduced me to superheroes, and I read some of his comics but didn't start collecting them for myself until I was 10 and the X-Men cartoon came out, so I wanted to read the books to, learn more about the X-Men. My dad wasn't into X-Men, but being that he was a scrawny kid from Brooklyn during World War II who liked to draw, his favorite superhero of all time was Captain America, along with a bunch of other old school stuff like the Phantom, the Shadow, the Green Hornet, the Submariner. Then later, Green Lantern and Blue Beetle. There's so many. But Superman was the one that started it all. And back in my dad's days, they didn't have superhero action figures. It was all about those little metal toys and the little metal army men, which a lot of them were donated to the war effort and melted down into different things. But after the war, around the late 40s, 1947 or so, plastic toys started to come around. That was around the time that outer space and sci-fi started to get popular. And there was a company named Archer that made these little spacemen. But my dad, being the Superman fan that he was, wanted his own little Superman figure to play with. So he took one of the Archer spacemen, used some of his mom's sewing stuff, because my grandma Conchetta was a seamstress, and sewed on this little Superman costume with the cape and all. So let me show it to you. It's cute. I'm gonna probably flash some pictures on the screen of it. I sewed this, and I love it. The spaceman, he has like a like a rocket pack or something, and the cape covers it. So my favorite thing about it is the emblem. You can see that he just kept going over it and like sewed it and with the two different colored threads. So judging by the fact that Archer Toys came out in 1947 and that the logo is the 5-sided pentagon, I'd estimate that he was about 10 or 11 years old when he made this. And it's very old now. It can't be less than 63 or 64 years old, and I'll never part with it. There's absolutely no amount of money in the world that could be offered to me by even the most superist Superman collectors that would surpass how much this thing means to me. So, and if I ever have kids, they're not touching it. And I want to put it on display, but I'm afraid that the light will fade it and it'll just age faster. So I keep it in a box, wrapped up away. I actually haven't seen it in a while. With the movie coming out and Superman being on the brain, I just thought of this and wanted to take it out to show you. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing about it and seeing a bit of old comic book history or nostalgia or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure if you're watching this video from the Extras channel or the playlist on our main channel, but if you like this video and would like to see more random Pete's Basement extras and comic related goodness, you can check out and subscribe to the Extras channel right over here or there or wherever I put it. Or you can check out our main channel for our comic book roundtable discussion and review show, which is on a little break right now, but it will be back very soon, I think within a week or two, all jazzed up, and I'm super excited about it. And if you're going to see Superman this weekend, I hope that you love it and you have a blast. Let us know how you enjoyed it, but try not to spoil it for people who haven't seen it yet. So that's that. Have a super weekend.